I'm Shane Rodriguez, a faculty member here at the Massachusetts School of Law, and I hereby call the 31st Annual Commencement Exercise of the Massachusetts School of Law to order. On behalf of the Dean of the Law School, the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and our distinguished guests, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome all of you to the commencement exercise for the graduating class of 2020. Congratulations to all of you. All of us here at MSL, we are extremely proud of you for reaching this milestone. And I personally want to commend all of you for your hard work, preparation, and your commitment to excellence. As you move forward, have faith in your law school preparation and yourselves. Good luck, and God bless you all. I've also been asked to deliver the invocation, and I would now ask that all of you bow your heads in a moment of prayer and reflection. Lord, we bow our heads in thanks and appreciation for keeping us safe to reach this day of great accomplishment. Lord, please look over these graduates as they enter into our great profession and as they begin their service to their communities. Amen.
Thank you, Shane. Welcome, everyone, most especially the 2020 graduating class of the Massachusetts School of Law. First, let me say on behalf of William and Joyce Cummings, who were to be our honorees today, how much they regret not being with you personally to share in your great accomplishments. They strongly believe that graduation is all about the graduates, and they feel badly that your special day has been affected like this, but they are very much looking forward to meeting you and congratulating you in person. Graduations are often far too ordinary. Pomp and circumstance, a nice inspirational speech, and if we're lucky, a card from Auntie. This year, it's pomp, circumstance, and perseverance. This graduation, your graduation, is anything but ordinary, and we are in anything but ordinary times. Times like these calls for extraordinary lawyers. Because of your wisdom and perseverance in the face of daunting challenges, you are well prepared to be extraordinary lawyers. In facing your challenges, you have demonstrated to the world how deep your commitment to justice for all truly is, and your readiness to fight for those whose voices wouldn't otherwise be heard. In a time of terrible losses, you have accomplished the start of lifelong dreams. Some of you finished your law school classes in your childhood bedrooms, while others searched out empty, child-free spaces for a little privacy with a laptop or a smartphone. It would have been far easier to walk away from your dream, as others have somewhere done along their journey. Be it that terrible adjustment first year, the heartbreak hill of second year, or the hectic pace of this year, when the finish line seemed to be in sight, only for the gods to laugh and say, "Hold my beer." Pomp, circumstance, perseverance. Our profession is a profession in service to others. With the conferral of your Juris Doctorate today, it truly is our profession. Welcome. We provide a voice to those marginalized voices who through animosity or indifference face grave injustice. Great lawyers serve their communities with deep commitment and sacrifice. That service now requires high tech, and even in this age of social distancing, high touch. A lawyer's service touches lives, changes them, and helps bring people through the most difficult times they will ever face. Sound familiar? It is why law school is such a constant challenge. In law school, you learn many things. However, this year, you have learned the most important lessons of all. Believe in yourself. Work plus desire equals success. You have been tested in every sense of the word. You did not falter. No obstacle was too great, no mountain too high, and no challenge overwhelming. Venibas, vidisti, vicisti. Go out and do good. Represent your clients with the same level of commitment, perseverance, and tenacity you exercised in pursuing your Juris Doctor. Fear nothing, and no one. Despite many trials, you stood tall. The hard-fought victory is now yours. Enjoy it today. Tomorrow, go fight for those whose lives do matter and answer their calls for justice. Congratulations all. Now Dean Caldas and Dean Sullivan will introduce our two accomplished student speakers. Dean Caldas is first.
I have the honor of introducing Amanda Wood. At MSL, Amanda has excelled and also made a name for herself as a steady, intelligent, analytical, competent, and conscientious professional. Amanda took 2 classes with me, writing and legal advocacy and juvenile law. In writing, her assignments were well written, clearly organized, and researched thoroughly. As a result of her hard work, excellent writing, and oral advocacy skills, she received the Best Brief Award as part of our in-house advocacy competition. In my classes, I observed Amanda as always being cooperative and courteous with others, even when she was placed in an advocate's role. She is hardworking, compassionate, and has respect for others. I am impressed with her intelligence and integrity and convinced she will succeed in anything she does. Amanda grew up in a close family in Westfield, Massachusetts. She went to St. Anselm College in Manchester, New Hampshire, majoring in classics and minoring in gender studies. While in college, she worked as a resident assistant, a job which led her to meeting her fiancé, Keith. He was one of her residents. They now live in Derry, New Hampshire, with a cat, Raja, and 2 dogs, Elwood and Penny. Amanda started at MSL in the fall of 2017. She had been thinking about law school for a little while, but made the ultimate decision to apply after attending the Women's March on Washington in January of 2017. She works as a legal assistant, and her boss, Charlene Kent, an MSL alum, recommended the school to her. She would like to do family law or estate planning after she graduates. Finally, Amanda also enjoys life. She likes to read and visit museums and states she would like to take up gardening if she ever gets some free time.
Good evening, class of 2020. I am so honored and humbled to be speaking to you all today. So, we did it. We finished law school. It wasn't easy getting here. It took hundreds of hours of sitting in class, doing thousands of hours of homework and studying, and seemingly endless cups of coffee. Oftentimes, it also meant choosing to do the hard thing. It meant staying up late to brief cases, or skipping dinner with friends, or missing a family gathering. But we did it. We sacrificed, we pushed through, and we made it work. And here we are on graduation day, celebrating our accomplishments. But while we celebrate, we should remember that we didn't get here alone. We weren't the only ones sacrificing, pushing through, and making it work. Our families and friends did too. They understood if we had to miss something, or that if we did show up, we might have to make some time for homework. They let us listen to audio recordings in the car, and even got to know our professors just by the sounds of their voices. They quizzed us, made us dinner, listened to oral arguments, cleaned the house, and stepped up when we needed it the most, doing anything and everything they could to keep us going. For a long time, they let us put our own dreams first, and for that, we owe our loved ones an immense amount of thanks. And while we're thanking people, let's not forget to thank our professors. They pushed us every day to make sure that we would be prepared for our lives ahead. They've given us unending support and guidance, even when that meant showing us some tough love, because they know that the career we've signed up for will be even tougher. And as much as they've taught us about the law, they've taught us just as much about what it means to be good lawyers. They've shown us that lawyers are compassionate and kind, and that our ultimate goal is in service to our communities. And that's really what we formed here at MSL, our own little community. As much as our own friends and families have done for us, our new law school family has done just as much. I suspect that when we look back at these times, what we will remember most is each other. We'll remember our dunks runs, going for walks around the halls between classes, and the study groups where we spent more time talking and laughing than we did studying. We'll remember eating hamburgers at the barbecues, playing in the basketball tournament, and volunteering at Animal Rights Day. We'll remember cheering each other on and sometimes even cheering each other up. And that hasn't changed, even in the face of our latest challenge. COVID-19 has forced us to make a lot of changes in the recent months. But what it has not changed is our sense of togetherness. Though we weren't able to meet in person to finish our last semester of law school, we have found so many ways to stay connected. And while we may not be celebrating today the way we've dreamed of, rest assured that the lack of a formal ceremony does nothing to minimize your accomplishments. So whether it's cooking your favorite meal, or video chatting with your family, or just curling up on the couch with a good book, find a way to rejoice in your achievement today, and know that your MSL family is still with you in spirit. As I think about where the class of 2020 will go in the future, I hope for one thing above all others. I hope that we don't forget the sense of community we've built over the last few years. That no matter where we end up as lawyers, we always remember the people we started our journey with. I would like to leave you with one final thought from former First Lady and human rights activist Eleanor Roosevelt. The future is literally in our hands to mold as we like, but we cannot wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow is now. So take today to celebrate. You've earned it. But remember, our real work is about to begin. Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2020.
As stated by Brad Meltzer in his book, Heroes for My Son, it was an epidemic, the year 1952. There were nearly 60,000 cases of polio in the United States. Jonas Salk spent 8 years searching for a cure. He worked 16-hour days, 7 days a week. The first person he tested his vaccine on was himself. It was a success. In 1955, America had its vaccine. As payment, Salk could have asked for anything, and he asked for nothing. Paraphrasing, he said, "The vaccine belongs to the people, just like the sun." Success does not come by accident. You know that. Ask us. Takes hard work, focus, perseverance, learning, studying, and great sacrifice. It takes commitment. It takes courage. It takes a yes, I can do it attitude. Gus Panagakis began law school at the age of 35. He was married with 2 children. He was working full-time. Gus passed the February bar examination and will soon begin working for his company as regional counsel. Congratulations, Gus, on that. While at MSL, Gus was on MSL's trial team. He won Best Brief in MSL's advocacy competition and was a quarterfinalist. Gus has served as an officer for the Student Bar Association. He has received numerous Cali Awards for excellence. Gus leads by example. He assists first and second-year students. He serves as a student mentor and supports and competes in Professor D's 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Gus is a proud and active member of Scouting. When asked by Professor Dimitriadis, Gus ever so graciously served as MSL's Easter Bunny for Animal Law Day and has agreed to keep doing so. Now, if you know Gus, he's deliberate, he's well prepared in absolutely everything that he undertakes. Picture him leading 100 out-of-control kids through MSL with deliberate footing. Put your left foot out, put your right foot out, and they all followed suit. 100 miniature Gus's in tow. I have a plaque on my living room wall titled Code of the West, 10 Principles to Live By, which is interesting because I'm a vegetarian, but I'm taking advice from cowboys. Oh well. However, what I want to say is the first rule is live each day with courage. I read it often because I believe you can change the world with courage. But Gus, wasn't it Charlie Chaplin who said, "It takes real courage to make a fool of yourself"? So we look forward to seeing you next Animal Law Day. On a serious note, please accept my congratulations on behalf of all of us here at MSL and to the graduating class of 2020. It was a pleasure teaching you. We thank you, we applaud you, and we wish you all the very best of good things to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Sullivan, for that warm introduction. Welcome to all you graduates, faculty, friends, and family watching this. It's a pleasure to be standing here in front of my cell phone filming this for you all. Neither this graduation ceremony nor our final year of law school was what any of us probably expected when we started 3 or 4 years ago. Of course, we expected our last year to be difficult with comp and bar essay and, of course, the bar exam. But a virtual graduation, online classes, remote exams, and a series of canceled events don't exactly create the ideal ending of our law school career. Then again, challenges are nothing new to MSL students, and at least for me, law school has been anything like what I expected. MSL students face challenges many other law students don't. Whether full or part-time, day or night classes, most of us struggle with balancing home, work, school, families, and many other obligations, all while studying the law and preparing for the bar exam. Not many other students at traditional law schools have to overcome so much to achieve their dreams. And that's just one thing that sets us apart, and during these past few years, I discovered many other things that I didn't expect to find. I remember the weeks and months before I started my first semester at MSL. Like probably many of you, all of my expectations of what law school was going to be came from what I'd seen on TV and in movies, and maybe some insights that I received from friends who graduated from other schools. Based on these sources, I had formed certain preconceived notions of what law school would be like, and like many of your expectations probably were, mine were way off, but in a good way. For example, I expected professors to be dry and uninteresting, so I was shocked when I met Professors Devlin and Rodriguez. I figured they'd be uncaring and detached, so I was surprised to see the efforts that Professors Dimitriadis and Colby Clements put into helping their students succeed. I thought they'd be strict and intimidating, and then I met Dean Sullivan. Well, okay, so maybe some of my expectations were accurate. I expected administrative staff that were simply faceless names attached to departments you would send checks or questions to. I never expected the warmth that Rosa showed all of us. Finally, I expected a dean who sat and ran the school from his office without any interest in who his students were. And once again, Dean Coyne proved my expectations were way off. Since I was going to school in the evening with other part-time students who I figured would have families and jobs and other obligations, I expected to treat MSL as a commuter school, arriving just in time for classes, attending those classes, and going home. What I didn't expect was that MSL would turn into a second home, making so many friends and memories in the process. From the friends I met the first day of orientation to my teammates on AAJ and everyone else along the way, you made MSL a place I look forward to coming to, and the memories we made and continue making are moments I'll never forget. I miss you guys and can't wait for things to open up so we can get together again. Now, I expected to be an older student when I started law school, not the traditional 22-year-old. But I didn't expect to see the diverse age group that exists at MSL. At almost 40 years old, I'm used to not being carded when I go out for drinks. However, I certainly wasn't expecting to be the only one at the table of friends that wasn't carded. Guess I just looked more distinguished and mature than I thought. Likewise, I expected to hear my younger classmates making jokes about my age, calling me dad and grandpa, things like that. But I never expected the waitress to actually think that I was their father. Yep, that really happened. Looking back on 4.5 years later, I couldn't be happier to have been so wrong with so many of my expectations. For the lifelong friends I never thought I'd meet, to the wonderful faculty and staff I never thought I'd have, that not only taught us the practical law we need to be good lawyers, but the ethics, professionalism, and compassion we need to be great ones. I'm certainly going to miss my years in law school. Something else I never thought I'd say. Finally, a speech wouldn't be complete without an opportunity to thank those who made so much of a difference to me during school. First, I have to thank the Chili's bartending staff. Let's be honest, you made all our years in law school so much more bearable. Thank you for always having that beer waiting for me as soon as I walked in. Second, I'd like to thank our trial team coaches, Dean Coyne and Professors Dimitriadis, Hereda, and Hitu, for devoting so many days and nights to coaching us during those 2 years in AAJ. I'd also like to thank Rosa and Professor Colby Clements for your support with MSL's mentor program and Professor Hereda and Kathy Villari with SBA. However, most of all, I want to thank my family, my 2 kids, Nico and Maya, and my wonderful wife, Briar. Working through school and studying for the bar exam was certainly no easy task, but their patience and understanding through the process made it so much more doable. Between work and responsibilities at home, I knew law school would be difficult for me, but I didn't realize how difficult it would be for them, especially for Briar. From the beginning, she managed most of the household and parenting duties, taking that burden off of me. I can't say enough how much that meant to me or how grateful I am for everything she did and the sacrifices she made. I wouldn't be standing here without her. Nico, Maya, and Briar, I love you guys so much. In closing, I want to congratulate all the graduates today and wish those of you taking September's bar exam the best of luck. You got this, guys. And remember, as Dr. Seuss said, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. You are the guy or gal who will decide where to go. Congratulations, MSO Class of 2020, and thank you very much.
Now let's turn to the most important part of this year's graduation ceremony. By the authority vested in the Massachusetts School of Law, by the Massachusetts Department of Higher Education, and on behalf of the Massachusetts School of Law Board of Trustees as its authorized representative, I am hereby authorized to confer upon all eligible candidates the degree of Juris Doctor, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, upon the following candidates: Emmanuel Achabapong, Albert Jose Acosta, Nicole M. Ahart, Fatima Al-Rakabi, James F. Ambrose Jr., Elizabeth B. Anderson, Philip Acciatacono, Patrick James Atwell, Priscilla Baez, Audrey Balcony, Kelly Burrill, Jennifer Florence Benjamin, Gary Robert Boisford, Angel Borea, Brandy Brooke, magna cum laude, Zachary S. Brown, Carly M. Bono, Andrew Berger, Michael Butrin, Michael Campbell, Jean Marie K. Capone, Helena Charles, Greg Kotias, Susan Ducato, cum laude, Christian Dick, Jennifer D. Trapano, Marie H. Elmador, Peter D. Engels, Courtney Rose Farrell, Brian Foley, Michaela Frazier, Richard A. Gaudette, John Haysham, Taylor F. Halley, Kayla E. Heaney, Luther Charles Henshaw, cum laude, Victoria Hogan, Janelle Letitia Hoyt, Karen M. Iovane, our student trustee, Catherine Elizabeth Iwanicki, and our Dean's Award winner for 2020, Sarah Monahan Jor, Justin Jordan, Daniel L. Joyce, Stephen Carrells, Raymond Anthony Kahn, Reed Colagero Lavoy, cum laude, and our other 2020 Dean's Award winner, Katerina Liddy, Gustavo Enrique MacLeod, Joseph Markey, Massa Famata Massacoy, George C. Mamedius, Ali Hader Mian, Carl L. Miller, Kira Lynn Miner, Yancy Lisette Morales, Brittany Donner Nauman, Alexandra Page, Konstantinos N. Panagakis, magna cum laude, Emily Lynn Parry, Robin Lynn Piermarini, Giselle M. Rodriguez, Edmund G. Romulus, Victoria Stone, magna cum laude, Latanya Tanise Taggart, Nedhi Shama Texera, Nickerson Tran, Manuel Fontes Vega Jr., Najeen Victor, Stephanie Williams, Amanda Wood, magna cum laude, Barbara M. Zorowski. This is the 2020 graduating class of the Massachusetts School of Law. Well done. I now call on Professor Kapani to deliver our closing remarks.
Graduates of the class of 2020, once again, congratulations. I am Professor Anthony Kapani, and I begin my closing remarks by stating the obvious. It's unfortunate that we cannot be gathered together to celebrate this joyous occasion that you've worked so hard and sacrificed so much to achieve. Now, at this point in your graduation ceremony, you would have already received your diplomas and would be anxious to leave in order to celebrate with your family and friends. But this year is different. Now, delivering closing remarks can be a painful experience for the both of us. Let me explain. It's painful for you because the last thing you want to hear are more words of wisdom. It's painful for me because I don't have any words of wisdom to share. And whatever message I deliver will be forgotten by most of you by the end of this virtual graduation. But even under the circumstances brought about by COVID-19, I encourage you to embrace this virtual graduation. After all, this should be your last commencement exercise, virtual or otherwise. And speaking on behalf of your family and friends, this is your last commencement. It's time for you to get a job. Your days of being a professional student are over. Graduates, I could tell you that you're going to change the world, but I'm not going to say that because I've had many of you in class, and I just don't foresee that happening. Now, in my past closing remarks, I have stated a reoccurring theme, which is when you leave here as graduates of the class of 2020, nothing is going to change. Instead of professors challenging you in the classroom, it will now be the judges challenging you in the courtroom. Instead of spending endless hours preparing for examinations, you will now spend countless hours preparing for trial. Instead of waiting in agony for the results of your final exams, you will now wait anxiously for the verdict of the jury. So you see, the more things change, the more they do stay the same. But graduates, you have changed. Law school was an experience that has changed you forever. Because of your dedication to the study of law, you will not think the same, you will not act the same, you will not be the same. And as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, the world has also fundamentally changed. It's changed the manner by which we interact with one another, the manner by which our institutions of learning deliver content to its students, the manner by which attorneys and litigants interact with the court system. But as a society, we will adapt to these changes, whether seen or unseen. Now, while these changes are inevitable, the lasting effect of COVID-19, and that is after the health concerns have dissipated, is the acceleration of technology in our interaction with one another. While there may be many advantages to this transition, the major disadvantage is that we diminish our personal contact with each other, which is the very essence of our existence. You graduates will be called upon to apply the skills that you've developed in law school to safeguard and protect our civil liberties moving forward. Now, graduates, we feel confident that when we send you forth this day as lawyers, you will take with you the discovery that in life there may not be any such thing as the right answer. At best, there may exist a process of analysis. You have learned that learning takes place when you find out for yourself. The more we told you, the less you learned. As professors, we were there merely to guide, to help, to goad, to irritate, and to stimulate. And by the way, Dean Diane Sullivan managed to accomplish this in just one class. Now, as new attorneys, you must start over once again. I ask that in your practice you are compassionate, especially when representing the less fortunate members of our society. Do not be preoccupied initially with financial rewards. Your duty, your obligation, is to be concerned with becoming a highly competent, skilled, and effective attorney. Your success, both professionally and financially, will follow, and you will be sought after by clients and attorneys alike for your counsel and guidance. In closing, I wish to relate a story, and it's a story that the faculty has heard many times before. But no matter how hard I try to improve upon it, or I think of a different message to guide you in your future endeavors, I am woefully unsuccessful. And as I get older, the story becomes even more meaningful. It's a story of which I lay no claim of authorship, as it's a story told by Zachary Clements, a professor at the University of Vermont. His real name is Zachariah Clementi, and he talks about his grandfather who raised him after his father was killed in World War II. His grandfather was from Italy, and his name was Fortunato Clementi. Now, Fortunato worked as a laborer with a pick and shovel for the railroad. And even after his grandfather worked all day, when he came home, he would go out to the garden and continue to work with his pick and shovel. Zach's grandfather was permanently bent over from constantly working so hard. His face was like mahogany, his hands like leather. Now he would call over to Zach to join him in the garden, and he would begin to philosophize. And it's a philosophy that I would like to share with you. He would yell over in Italian to Zach, "Salve tutti, vieni qua. Know-it-all, come here." His grandfather would then say to Zach, "Capisci che tu c'hai tutti. You know, we have everything." Zach would think to himself, "Grandpa, what do you mean? We don't even own the yard that you plant your garden. You have one cheap, shiny blue suit that you wear on Sundays with your medallion and your old fedora hat. We don't have anything. What are you talking about?" and it was though his grandfather could read his mind. He would say, Tuthania Zola, Aluna e Acella. We have the sun, the moon, and the heavens. Ma cumegu de tutti, figlio mio, but more importantly, my son, Tuthania familia, Tuthania morti, e cumegu de tutti, Tuthania vita. We have a family, we have love, and most important of all, we have life. So graduates, no matter how successful you become, always remember the importance of life and family in balancing your career. And when the end comes, as it must for all of us, and your energies and physical abilities are gone, and even the greatest thoughts you once had begin to fade in the misty past, hopefully there is someone who loves you, someone who cares, someone who is your family. I hope you'll be able to say, if I had to do it all over, this is what I would do again. I salute and congratulate you, and I leave you with the words to a Beatles song, the title of which is You Say Goodbye, and I Say Hello. As professors, we say goodbye to you, O graduates. As future colleagues, we say hello. Congratulations.